I was sipping on a lukewarm coffee from the break room, trying to wake myself up for another day of meetings, when my phone buzzed with an email from our company's IT department. It wasn't anything out of the ordinary, just the usual your password needs to be reset or you have new software updates. But as I scrolled through the message, something caught my eye. A routine security audit had been conducted and it seemed that one of our HR systems was compromised. I didn't think much of it at first, assuming it was just a minor glitch. But then I remembered a conversation I overheard between two colleagues in the cafeteria last week. They were talking about how weird they thought it was that the company started requiring everyone to give their DNA samples for health and wellness purposes. At the time, I brushed it off as some new corporate wellness trend. Now, with this email fresh in my mind, I had a bad feeling. I spent the next few hours digging through our company's internal systems, trying to piece together what was going on. That's when I stumbled upon an invoice from a pharmaceutical corporation, dated last quarter, for data acquisition and analysis services. I recognized the amount. It matched our company's annual budget for employee wellness initiatives. My mind racing, I started digging deeper into the HR system that had been compromised. And that's when I found it, a massive database containing all of my coworkers' DNA data. Every single one of us had given our consent to participate in this wellness program, but it was clear now that we'd never actually agreed to sell our genetic information. I felt like I'd just stepped off the edge of a cliff, staring down into an abyss of moral compromise and corporate deception. What was going on? Was everyone else aware of this too? And what did it mean for us as employees? It wasn't long before I heard from the CEO himself. We had a meeting scheduled for later that afternoon to discuss ongoing company initiatives. I knew exactly what this meant. He walked in with his usual charm, flashing those perfect teeth and an air of confidence that always made me feel like a small child in front of him. He smiled as he leaned back in his chair, steepling his fingers together. "I'm sure you've heard by now about the recent security audit," he said, his voice dripping with condescension. "But I want to assure you that everything is perfectly fine here at company name. We just need to reassure some of our partners about our compliance procedures." My gut was screaming for me to get out of there, but my curiosity kept me rooted to the chair. "Partners?" I repeated. "You mean like the pharmaceutical corporation?" He raised an eyebrow, and a flicker of annoyance danced across his face before he smoothed it over with another smile. "I think that's enough speculation for now. Let's just say we're working on some exciting new collaborations, and I'm sure you'll be happy to know how generously they've compensated us for the data they've acquired from your fellow employees." Acquired? Compensated? My skin crawled as he leaned forward, his voice taking on a menacing tone. "Let's keep this between us, shall we? I wouldn't want any of our valued employees getting the wrong idea about what happens when you cross company name." And then he dropped it. "We'll be watching your account activity closely. You understand?" I felt like I was drowning in a sea of betrayal and deceit. How many others were in on this? And what exactly did they plan to do with our genetic information? My phone buzzed again as the CEO stood up, his parting shot still echoing in my ears. "Don't make me have to take any further action." I stared down at my phone screen, frozen in fear.